Good evening and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here we are on day 134 of 2024. I'm continuing the story of King Shebi, the dove and the falcon. You might remember the falcon had landed on King Shebi's upraised arm, digging its talons into his wrist, and complaining immediately about what the king was doing, stopping him from being able to grab his meal, kill the dove, have something to eat. King Shebi was trying to figure out what to do. Here he had promised the dove refuge, but the falcon lived within his kingdom, and King Shebi was pledged to do good to all creatures. So now how was he to feed the falcon? The falcon wanted none of the things that he'd offered to him. So King Shebi came up with a plan. He said, I will equal the weight of the dove from my own flesh. Will you be content with that? The falcon said that he would. So a scale was brought. Now, as you can imagine, that all of the king's attendants, ministers, everyone who was at the palace that day and heard about what was going on came out trying to persuade the king not to hurt himself on account of this dove and falcon. The king would have none of it. He was committed to helping the dove. Scales set, dove was placed on one side. King Shebi took his sword, unsheathed it, and created a slice across his thigh, and another one, taking out a hunk of flesh that easily should have outweighed the dove, but when he placed it upon the scale did not move. In spite of the pain, in spite of all of the king's many caring people trying to persuade him to stop, the king cut another hunk of flesh out of his thigh, placed it upon the scale, and the scale still did not move. Now this was repeated over and over again. The pain was excruciating, but King Shebi did not stop. He had committed himself to serving these two creatures within his kingdom. Finally, as King Shebi was growing faint from loss of blood, the falcon, which by this time had perched upon a fountain, the edge of a fountain that was close by, changed. The dove sitting on the scale changed. The dove became Agni, the fire god, the falcon Indra, god of gods. Agni told King Shebi, we were testing you to see how good you actually were. We are pleased, said Indra. With that, King Shebi's wounds were healed, and in a flash, the two gods had disappeared. But this story, as you have heard it, finished this very night, has been told through the ages ever since. How far would you go to proclaim your goodness?